G'day guys, today I quickly wanted to show you how to set up call tracking for your AdWords campaign. So this is important for sites where a lot of the sales process actually happens over the phone call. So like for my example, a lot of people give me a call to discuss what I can offer, and if I'm not tracking those conversions, then it can look like good keywords are actually performing badly. So we set up call tracking using Google, and we can see what works and what doesn't. So first thing, just log into your AdWords web interface, the main editor there. Click into your campaign and you want to go to Tools, Conversions. This here will list all the conversions you've got happening at the moment. Hit on plus conversion, and from this list here we want this one, which is phone calls. And this will have a pop-up with a few different options for other call tracking, but in this particular case we're trying to track people who are calling from your website, and that's this second one here. Press continue and just fill in the form, so website form. Okay, so under value, this lets you set what each call is worth. If your sales process and sales guys know how well they convert a customer, you can work out a value here. Otherwise, just leave it blank. Call length. This is to, I guess, eliminate the tie kickers from the conversion. So you don't want people calling up, hanging up after 10 seconds and then classing that as conversion. So if you know how long a good call is for your business, then set that here. 60 seconds is probably a good starting point. Count, leave that as 1. Conversion window. 30 days is probably fine here. Most people won't wait more than a month before they call you. So just leave that at 30 days. And everything else can stay as is. Hit save and continue. So the next part of the process is setting up the little bit of JavaScript which is going to go on your web page. And what this JavaScript does, it will replace any phone number it sees on your site with a Google forwarding number. And those Google forwarding numbers are the way the conversions are done. So it's pretty simple. Just go down to the bottom. Okay, so you need to enter the phone number as it appears on your website. Now, this has to be exact. So the best way to do is go to your website and find where that phone number is. So let's take this one here, and that's the format there. So no brackets, spaces between the area code and 4 digits. So we go back here and enter that in there. Then we hit create tag. So this will give you a bit of JavaScript that will only work wherever it sees the number in that format. So it's important to make sure your phone numbers are consistent on your web page, or this won't work properly. Okay, so if you're not a web developer yourself, you're going to have to pass this code over to your web development team and tell them that you want it at least on every page that contains a phone number. If you reckon you're going to add other phone numbers down the track, get them to place it either in your header or your footer, and that's going to work on every page then. Otherwise, if you want to get your hands dirty, then what I recommend is using Google Tag Manager. So Google Tag Manager is just one little bit of snippet of code that your developer or yourself have to place in the header of your site, and then that lets you place other tracking codes and all sorts of fancy things over time without having to get your web development team involved. This is pretty handy. It saves you money, it saves you time, and you can make changes very, very quickly and test and revert and all sorts of cool stuff. If you do want to go the Tag Manager route, then to make the account, go to tagmanager.google.com. It's tied to your analytics, so it's pretty easy to make the account. Once you're in there, set up the container, which is the website, and once that's done, it'll give you a bit of JavaScript, which you're going to have to get installed in the header of your site. If you're not sure how to do this yourself, then talk to your web development team. If you're using WordPress, there's going to be plugins that will help you, and there's a heap of documentation online on how to do that. So once that's started, what we have to do is go to New Tag to do our AdWords conversion. Set in the title, so AdWords website call, and then click on tag configuration, and this is going to give you a heap of pre-configured tags, But in our case, they gave us our own bit of JavaScript. So we want to go to custom HTML and then get that from your AdWords and paste it in. And once that's done, you need to go down and set the trigger. So the trigger is what pages on your site will actually activate this code up the top. So it's good if you only want it to show on certain pages, but in our case we want to do all pages. So if you click on the middle of that box, there it'll show you a list of triggers, and in our case we want all pages, and this is a default trigger in Google Tag Manager. So just click on that, it's on there, and hit save. So that's now added, and all you have to do is hit publish, and that's going to set that to work on your site. Now, testing to make sure this works isn't easy because Google limits the code to only work if someone's clicked through one of your Google ads. So if you're happy to click one of your own ads and wear that cost, then you can do that, and you will see the phone number, wherever there's a phone number, will change to one of Google's local numbers. Otherwise, I use some mouse tracking software called Mouseflow, and what this does is it records people who visit to your site, just their movements on the web page, so you can see how they're interacting, and this allows you to see if the phone number's changed or not. So this one here is a Google click. You can see it's a Google click by the GCLID parameter in the URL. So they've come to the site, and if you look at my normal site, the phone number's 30407890. But if you go to this one here, you can see that Google has put in their own tracking number, which is different. So what happens now is the person calls this new number, Google forwards it through to my number, and then in AdWords, it will record it as a conversion. So I now know that someone who's come through keyword A has called my site, and I know that's a good keyword that I can look at increasing bids or optimizing to a further level. I hope that helps. It's very useful for people who do rely on phone calls, and it's a must-have in my opinion if you're doing AdWords. Just yell out if you've got any questions. Thank you.